here I go coming. I can't ever stop, I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top, I don't need an invitation. I'm about to start a celebration.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Cheers, ladies.
Happy, we'll say happy Thursday, even though it's not a Thursday.
Happy Vikings win day.
Yeah, Vikings had a good game. I know you and Bill went.
Look at me with all my. I had my jersey on up until about 5 minutes ago. I'm like, I'm gonna at least take my jersey off.
I would have left it on.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to wear it too.
Yeah.
Why did you just leave it on?
I'm surprised you still had one. You've been so in love with the Chiefs for the last few years that
I know. I pulled out. So I have a vintage jersey. I have a Chris Carter jersey. Yeah.
And doesn't that hold special meaning?
So I wore that today. Yes.
Very nice.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. What else has been going on?
It was so fun, so fun. The three of us have not talked. I had a glorious week last week in Las Vegas with my jewelry business. You guys, it wasn't a full week, but it was Pamper City, and as much as I wanted to come back and see Bill and Bo, I did not want to leave.
That is consistent for you on most vacations, however. I would like to point that out.
I know. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun.
Well, whoever wants to come home for vacation, I'd say no one.
I know.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So, I'm still in recovery mode. That's what's up with me. But you guys?
Nice. It's been Parade of Homes. So I have had a number of looky-loos every day coming in that don't want to buy a house but want to see how things are decorated.
Oh, okay.
Or they want to come in and they're thinking about it, from like a year from now. I'm like, great, this neighborhood will be sold out. But, come on in. Let's talk. So,
yeah.
Well, okay, so is the market favorable right now? What's going on?
People are getting super excited. It's not been really too much different for us because we have great interest rates all the time. But the Fed dropped their marker half point, and people were anticipating that coming. So we're thinking interest rates are going to start to trickle down. And everybody that's been waiting the last year now kind of took a big sigh of relief, and we're seeing a lot more homes coming on the market now, even in the last week, which brings buyers out. As I talked about a long time ago, that's great, but more buyers in the market means house prices go up. So to talk football terminology, you're not getting ahead, you're just moving the chain. So, but yeah, people are excited.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Good.
Awesome. Well, like usual, this is 3 cocktails in. There's actually 3 of us on tonight. And guess what? We're going to have a guest. We're going to have a 4th person on this evening.
excellent.
Yes. So I will bring her in. Here is my daughter, Malory Sahu.
Sahu.
Saw.
Like, who did I see? You saw who?
Sahu.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I am super excited to see you again, Malory. I've known you your entire whole life since you were itty bitty baby. But really, selfishly, I can't wait to hear, and I hope you're going to share a successful online dating story for me. Because mine has not been very successful. So I'm thrilled to be able to hear how you ended up hitched to the love of your life not so very long ago.
I know. Well, it took me years, but I finally found him. So
I'm going to ignore the years part. I don't have that many years left, but
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
okay, I do.
So we didn't plan a whole lot of what we were going to ask you, or, you know, we're just going to let you start and maybe tell about yourself, what you do, how you got to be here, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, so my name's Mallory. I teach in the English department for Iowa Western Community College. So, but I teach it's a whole long list of classes and it changes every semester. But the main ones I teach are usually related to communication. So writing or literature, public speaking, that kind of thing. I am 38, I think, and just got married. It's now almost been a year. It was last November. And I had not been married or engaged before that. I definitely waited quite a while to do so because I wanted to find the right person, and I didn't give up, and I'm glad I didn't give up.
Good.
Good for you. And he is delightful.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I I definitely think so. I might be a little biased, but he's kind of the best person ever.
So we'll go back to the dating thing, but what does he think about this hyper competitive, crazy family he's married into?
Okay, so what's funny is we will talk constantly about how we have the same family members as each other. So
Oh,
he'll
that's
say
funny.
that, like, he had, so I don't know how specific to get, but so my mom's brother Wade, right? Funny, loose kind of comedian guy. He has his own Uncle Wade in his family. So like it's funny because we'll compare. He'll be like, "Oh, well, you think that's funny? Listen to what my Uncle Wade did." Yeah, it's always funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you two meet?
So we met on the dating app Hinge,
Okay.
which I had not heard of. One of my coworkers actually recommended it, so I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And I had used, well, shoot, I mean, I've tried dating apps forever, so I tried old things like Plenty of Fish, OK Cupid. I can't even think of the name of the one. eHarmony and Match. So
Okay.
I tried a bunch of different ones and, met some good people, but hadn't found the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I hadn't even said my husband's name is Vikas, but we call him Vic. I met him. He was the first person I went on a date with through Hinge. And
Interesting.
yep. And I wasn't expecting much. Like, he didn't have a whole lot of information on his profile. The stupid thing is that he had this picture of himself eating a spoon of ice cream and he was smiling, and it was like the cutest picture that I'd seen. So I'm like, okay, I'll go on one date with him, or like I'll talk to him. And so when we had our first date, I wasn't expecting it to necessarily last all too long. Like, I was thinking we'll have dinner, get a drink, I'll be home by 9 and go to bed, kind of thing. We ended up staying out, just sitting and talking until like 1 or 2 a.m.,
Wow.
which neither one of us had expected.
You just clicked.
We did. We
Yeah.
did.
So again, I'm going to ask all the technical questions here.
Yeah.
How is Hinge different than the other ones you mentioned? You know, they each kind of have their own little thing.
Yep. So one thing I've noticed with Hinge is that they market themselves pretty well, I think, because in the commercials I've seen, they talk about how they're the app created to be deleted or removed. Like, they don't want you or expect you to keep their app. They're like, download us, find your person, get rid of us.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
which there are other uses of Hinge. There are people who don't use it for that reason as well. But I think when I saw that, I thought, okay, like, that sounds more like what I'm looking for. So I thought I'd try it. But I honestly don't remember many other details about like how the app is different.
That's kind of what I was asking, the marketing, you know, what is their kind of
Yeah.
plug.
So do some of the dating apps cater to specific age groups more than others?
Yeah.
Why are you
Our
laughing?
time, farmers.com, farmersonly.com.
Farmers
Haven't
only.
heard that commercial in ages. Maybe it went belly up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there are a lot like that. There are some that do it based on age, some that do it based on religion, some that do it based on like specific body types and things that you're looking for. Some do it based on income. You have to make a certain amount of income before you can even get the app. Yeah, there are lots of different ones.
I'm
Huh.
curious. So, question for both Mallory and Amy: are there people who you've talked to, and then maybe gone on a date that you've decided, okay, this isn't going to be a match, but I like this person. I think we could be friends. Are there people that you've made friendships with that weren't romantic relationships?
For me, no. No.
I was going to say, is it because that's the point of why you're there, is to find, your next, your romance? That's what you're looking for, right?
Yes. And I would say, if anything, Vic would be my closest to being able to answer yes to that question, because from when we first started talking and going out, one of the things, I know he was the first one to say it, was that if for some reason this doesn't work out, he wants to stay friends. Like, we at least should stay friends. And I was like, I'll warn you, I've never done that before, so I don't know. But I thought, yeah, like he would be such a great friend. Like, I don't want to lose him in any regard. Like, I'd settle for just friends if that's the best we can be.
It has been proposed to me. It was proposed to me after seeing somebody quite a bit, because we had, again, don't know why that one didn't work out, because we clicked on all cylinders. But I said I can't. I can't be friends with him knowing that he didn't want to see me, and then to know that he's still looking for somebody else. I'm like, no, that doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
So,
Just curious.
yeah.
How about any funny things that happened along your journey?
I could write a whole novel about so many weird things that have happened. I don't even know. I had a box sent to my house one time before a first date. This was during COVID, so we were just going to meet via Zoom for a Zoom date. And he had wanted my address first, and I'm like, I don't know about this. But we had worked through a dating company. I don't know that I've ever mentioned that to anybody before. Yep, I paid for like a in Omaha dating company
Oh,
thing.
sure. Mm-hmm.
And so he sent them the gift, then they sent it to me, so that he didn't actually ever get my address.
Oh, that's good.
So I had no idea what it was, and I was supposed to wait and open it when we started our Zoom date.
Did you wait?
And it was this box that it was really nice. But when you opened it, it was all of these fake butterflies flew out. So there was now butterflies and glitter all over my house that had flown out of this box. And then there was this chocolate heart in the middle. And so it seemed like it was supposed to be very nice, but I also don't like chocolate and didn't like that I had to clean up all of the butterflies and glitter. And yeah, we didn't end up.
That seems like a lot for
It was a lot for a first date. Ooh, I just thought of another one. I also had someone I went on a first date with who showed up with a gift. That's not like an every date thing, but this person showed up with a gift, and it was a dead plant.
Oh.
What was the rationale behind that?
Well, he didn't realize it was dead, He thought that was how it was supposed to look, like that's what the plant was. And the funniest part of this is that was Vic. That was our first date. He showed up.
What did he think it was an air plant? Like you just water
Yes.
it and then it's just.
Oh.
Yep. Because I don't remember where he said he bought it. So he just assumed that's what the plant is. It's supposed to look like that. And
Who
so
let him buy it?
Oh, he just went and bought it himself. Yeah. Although, yeah, why at the store did they let
Right?
They
him?
sell it.
That's
pay
what
money
I'm
on it?
saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Must
thought
have
it
been
was
a
funny.
self-serve purchase.
Oh my.
So I kept it for a while because I'm like, I got to keep this to show people this dead plant.
I thought it was going to be some sort of, metaphor for,
Yeah.
can we keep the plant alive? That whole,
No.
what is it? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, the
Where
love
she
fern.
where she buys the plant, their love fern. Yeah.
Mhm.
Something about if we start with the dead one, maybe we can bring it back. I don't know.
Oh my.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Goodness.
There, I had the thought again today, and I'm sure, Mallory, that you have. Well, I hope you have. I hope I'm not the only one. This whole idea of like, no wonder these guys are single and on these apps. They're so, whatever. And then I thought to myself, yeah, well, I'm single and on the apps too. So pretty good chance people are thinking about those things about me as well. But
Oh yeah. I mean, so I was 36 when Vic and I met, and he's from India. He's from a pretty different culture. And I was worried that one of his first questions was going to be, "You're 36 and you've never been married. You don't have any kids. Like, what's wrong with you?" Kind of a thing.
sure.
And so I was always a little worried about that's what people would kind of wonder. And then I've had brain surgery, so I'm like, well, there's that to add to it. But
Yeah.
he was awesome at kind of understanding everything.
Is he the
So
same age?
No, he's
Okay.
not.
Okay.
I've always liked guys who are older than me.
Mhm.
He is a year younger. Year
Okay.
and a half, if you're
that's the
specific.
same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same age.
Yeah. He likes to call me old though. He doesn't. That was a joke. But
Yeah.
No.
So you've mentioned that his family's from India.
mhm.
Talk to us about the melding of the families, the getting to know his family, how much does culture play in, the
Again,
whole thing.
I could make a whole book. So he and his family talk every day. They talk every day. He's the oldest son, and then he has a brother who's 10 years younger than him, which was another one of the things he and I connected on and talked about a lot on that first date, even since I have a sister who's 13 years younger than me, that we both had that kind of practice taking care of kids and stuff when we were growing up. And but he and his family are very close, so they will talk constantly. His brother lives in Canada, his parents still live in India, and they don't get to see each other all that frequently, so they'll do video calls a lot. And for the first, I don't know, while that we were dating, he didn't mention me. He kind of kept me a secret because he knew that as soon as he mentioned to his parents that he was seeing someone, that they would immediately go to, "You get married now," like immediate marriage. And so he's like, we're gonna skip that for a while. So another fun fact, Vic, this house that I'm in, that we live in, Vic bought this while we were dating, and his parents did not know about me yet. And the day that he closed on the house, he brought me here to see it and to kind of celebrate a bit. So he was walking around the house, showing it off to his family on video. And I was walking around the exact opposite part of the house to try to stay out of the video and not be heard. the whole time he's talking to them. I suddenly got very sick and ended up passing out and puking on the floor of the kitchen
Oh,
of the first house he's ever purchased. On the day he closed it, I passed out and puked in the kitchen.
You christened
And-
it
Mhm,
a
mhm.
little bit different type of party that one
Yep.
might have to celebrate a housewarming. Mhm.
Yes. And so he had to like hang up the call with his parents and take me to the hospital. So when we actually first met, it was on a video call. So by that time, they kind of knew about me. He told them some, details, and we would talk on like a WhatsApp video call.
Mhm.
The first time I actually met them in person was for my birthday 2 years ago. Originally, we were hoping that Vic was going to come with me to Canada, and we were going to see his brother and his parents and his uncle that were all there. Vic's Canadian visa did not get approved in time, so Vic flew with me to Chicago and then stayed in Chicago for a few days while I went alone to Canada
Oh my God.
and got picked up at the airport by his mom, his dad, his uncle, and his brother. And we all rode in the car back to his brother's apartment, where we all stayed for the weekend, including my birthday. Well, my birthday is July 3rd, so it was my birthday, and they did fireworks that weekend, even in Canada. And it was crazy. I think he had warned them, like, she will want to be alone. Let her be alone. Let her hide in a room. Don't try to talk to her. Like, I think he tried to scare them of what to expect from me. So when I actually showed up and was like, can I help make dinner? Like, what can I do? And I stayed out there to talk to them. They were like, what? And they're like, do you know my name? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Kamini and Vimal Sahu. And they're like, and they lost it. But then by the time I got home, I had been so nervous to go by myself that I started like breaking out in hives that weekend. So they had offered me like cream to use to try to take care of my neck and stuff. And but that was the first time we met. I met all four of his family members without him there. And
So
his
did they tell
brother-
stories on him?
no, I wish that they had, but they don't speak a lot of English. They actually speak more than they'll tell you. Like, they'll tell you I don't speak English, but they do. It's not that bad at all. But I didn't have
They
Vic there to
they
translate.
understand. They understand a lot instead
Yes.
of
Yes, it's
speaking.
more the figuring out how to translate to English how they want to respond to stuff sometimes. But yeah, but I didn't have Vic there to translate. I had his brother, who was a great help. But that was a very interesting weekend and first way to.
I'm sure. How
family.
brave.
Yeah, that's what Vic said. I'm like, or crazy. I was one of the two.
one
You
or the
just
other.
choose.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm. So how often will you get to see them?
That's another good question. So they actually came, so they had stayed with his brother in Canada for about 6 months. And then they came and lived with us in the house for 3 or 4 months, which is not something I'm used to, to have other people live with me for that long or visit me for that long. But so they were here for like 3 to 4 months. They left in December. We're hoping to find a time that we can go visit them in India next. So I don't know when they'll be able to come back, but hopefully sometime. But yeah, we're not going to be able to see them as
Yeah.
frequently.
Yeah.
Now I should share, or maybe I shouldn't share this story, but we have a lot of Indian buyers in the homes, the new homes that we sell. They like to buy new homes, and they always ask for a bedroom and at least a 3/4 bath on the main floor, because they do have family that will come and stay for months at a time. So
Yes.
like we think a long vacation. Stacey, you and I thought our trip to France for 10 days was
that was
so
long.
long.
Yes.
Oh no, they'll come for 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Well, I think usually if you try to get a travel visa, you can be like, I know you could stay in Canada for about 6 months. You could stay in the US for about 6 months on a travel visa. So I think their plan had originally been that they'd be out of India for a year and spend 6 months with Vic's brother and then spend 6 months here with Vic. And then I think when they found out about me, they got scared enough that they cut it back to just 3 months.
interesting.
Yeah, for 3, 4 months, something like that. But,
Yeah. Which is
yeah, so
interesting, to come and stay, because you and Vic were just newly
yeah.
engaged,
Well,
and
no. So we weren't engaged. We had been dating for like a year-ish when they got here.
right.
We got
That's neat.
engaged
Yeah.
while they were here
Yeah.
and married while they were here. But yeah, when they came, it was just that we were in a relationship at that point.
But I'm just saying it's very new, and then to have his parents there on top of it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Which I think we were all a little nervous about, but it was fantastic because his mom cooked us food a lot. And I can't even think of one thing that she cooked that I didn't just love or at least like. And so I was like, yes, they should come back and stay with us anytime. And it was good
Oh,
stuff.
that's great. That's great. So are you picking up on any Indian
Like on
language? Are
Hindi,
you learning to speak?
no, not
Okay.
really. Yeah, I know some words, but I don't feel like I could make a sentence at all. But so there's like I've learned Nanaji and Naniji are like grandpa and grandma. Mama G and Papa G, I hope I said that one right, are mom and dad. Um, so I'm kind of learning those. I did know the words for like brother and sister, and now I forgot what those are. And namaste. Uh, yeah, that's about all I have for.
Yeah.
I keep saying that I need to learn it. Like I need to. I even downloaded an app and I just haven't used it yet. But Vic does not encourage me to learn it faster because I think he likes being able to control the translation
See, that's
between.
what I was getting at.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that he likes to be able to control it so that if there's something that.
Filter. He can
Yes.
filter. Yeah.
Yes.
I sell to a lot of different cultures that come in,
Mm-hmm.
and oftentimes they're having a whole conversation, and I'm wondering, they could really hate me. They could hate the house. I have no
We'd
idea.
have no idea. Yep.
And it's, I can only imagine having,
Yep.
you want people to like you. You love their son. You want them to love you, to not be able to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then have him as a stinker trying to control the conversation.
Oh yeah. He joked about how there were multiple times when we'd all be sitting at the dining table eating dinner and they'd be talking about how he's going to propose or how he went to give the ring or all this stuff. And I,
No clue, huh?
no idea. No idea.
I'm sitting there smiling.
Yeah. I'm to the point where like, if I hear Mal, I'll know, okay, they said something about me. But yeah, otherwise.
So
Yeah,
can
no
you just put your phone out with Google Translate right there? So say, okay, let's go.
I should do that. I should start sneaking that in. Like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Very funny.
Did you? So, what was your wedding like? Did you incorporate any Indian customs traditions into your wedding?
A little, minimal.
Okay.
So we're thinking that hopefully when we go to India, hopefully his brother will be getting married. We will see if that happens, when that happens. But that maybe Vic and I will do a little something in India when we're there. But we're not doing the big traditional, like traditional Indian weddings are massive and multiple days. Like they're not a 1 day event like we do here. They're huge. And I'm like, no, that's too big. Like, so we had originally thought we'll do more of a standard American wedding here. And then I got to where, nope, even that's, I don't want that even. Like, that's too big. So we got to where we had what, like 25 people. We just went to a lake here in Omaha. The only part of of that day that I guess relates is that I incorporated some red in. So I had red on my veil, red on my bouquet, red on my waist, because traditional, or at least with Vic's culture, or in his area, they wear red as a wedding color. Like the bride more so wears red. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to wear all red. So I tried to mix the two a bit. But then we also, I think it was the next day, went to, there's a really awesome Indian temple in Omaha. So we went there with his parents and did a little thing there. And I wore a red dress to that one. But so we just kind of did couple little things.
Nice.
There was something I see, and I wish I knew more or could explain it a bit better. But I know when we got home from the temple, we did some stuff by the front door. Like we had to throw rice across the door frame, like to walk into our house, newly married. And his mom and dad said a couple prayers or blessings, and we had to like walk in. I don't remember now which foot it was, but we had to put like one foot before the other one to walk, like, so there were little things that we did. And I'm of course more just like, okay, like sure, I need to do that. Okay. Yeah.
Did it matter? And I'm not, excuse me, I don't know if this is Indian culture, but does it matter which way the front door faces? When Vic was looking for a house, did he specifically look for one that had certain direction?
So it depends on how religious or how traditional you are. There are recommendations of if you're
not south.
if your house
thing I
faces
know.
a certain way,
Not
if your
south.
windows, like if your bedroom and your bed face a certain direction, that they can kind of bring more positive results. But I don't know. I guess we didn't really talk about it. He was buying the house, so I wasn't buying it. So I'd go with him to look at places, and I'd be like, "Oh, sure, this looks nice." Like,
I would just be curious to know if that was something that he was actually thinking about as he was picking out homes.
yeah.
Your front door, doesn't it face east?
The front door faces east. Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is good. They like the front door facing east. I say they. You know, I've had enough buyers come in that I'm like, but this house checks every box. And they're like, nope, it's facing the wrong. And I've had realtors call and say, which direction does the home face?
Yeah.
Before they'll even come out. Before the buyers will even come out. So,
yeah, I know that's definitely a thing that some people want to choose or decide based on. Vic, I don't know if he did, it wasn't something we really talked about, I guess. But
very cool.
So I think when we were trying to decide where to put our bed in our bedroom, I think we had debated about that a little bit, because there was one clear, like, to me, I'm like, it obviously goes right there. Like, you can't put the bed anywhere else. Like, it has to go right there, because there's a window on that wall. There's the door to the bathroom on that wall. There's the door out of the bedroom I'm like, the only place to put the bed is that one wall right there where there's nothing else. It's where the bed goes. And so I think we had debated for a while about whether that was the right place to put the bed. And it is. That's where we put it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I know. I don't usually get drawn into those conversations, but I do know the front door, oftentimes it matters which way the home opens up. So
yeah.
Things I remember. Go ahead. Things I remember early were Vic was so nervous to meet us. and just kept, is this, saying things like, are you sure it's okay? Is it okay that, I'm dating Mallory? Is it, so much worry about what we thought,
Yes.
of everything.
Oh yeah. That's still how he is. And I don't know if it's just because his culture puts a bit more emphasis on what the elders think and choose, and it's where you have to follow that, you should follow that, whether you necessarily agree with it or not. Whereas, as my mom knows, I'm more like, oh, they say I have to do that. Well, guess what? I'm doing the opposite
The
thing.
opposite.
Like,
Yes.
I'm not doing that then. And
Yeah.
so, like, when I invited him, because the first time I had him meet the family was for Thanksgiving, that year that we had met. And he was, oh my gosh, he was so nervous. He was so nervous about, well, what kind of food do they have even? And like, can I eat this? Like, we need to bring them gifts. Like, we have to give everybody a gift to meet them, and what to say and what not to say. And now that I think about it, I probably did the same kind of thing that he did when he warned his family about me. I probably told him, like, oh, well, listen, this is how my mom's gonna act, this is how my uncle's gonna act. Like, I probably tried to scare him about them so that when he met them, they'd be like, oh no, your family's awesome. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still is like that though, because even now, so so I asked my mom if I could get tickets to an Iowa State football game, and he's like, don't ask your mom for tickets. Like, don't ask your mom about ticket. Like, how dare I ask my mom for tickets to a football game? If that's not very nice. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ask her. She's not gonna care. I'm like, if she doesn't want to give me the ticket, she'll just say no. Like, it doesn't matter. And he's like, oh, there are differences in that for sure.
I thought earlier when you were talking about him talking to his parents every day, you were going to say how you chuckled at that really early because he asked you, well, why don't you talk to your parents every day?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and he'll be like, did you talk to your mom today? I'll be like, no. He's like, well, is she okay? I'm like, I think so. Like, why? Did you talk to her? And he'll be like, well, no. I'm like, then I think she's okay. Like, unless she calls, then she's not maybe okay then.
If she's not okay, somebody will call and let me
Yeah,
know.
then someone will let me know. Yeah, I'm like, no. He's like, well, I mean, it's been like a couple days. You haven't talked to her yet? And I'm like, no. And he'll be like, well, what about your dad? Did you talk to your dad? Like, no. Like, I got a Snapchat picture maybe, but
Yeah.
okay, you want to call him? Like, at some point I will.
Yeah. Just very different.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder if that's a guy thing. Stacey, does Trenton call you?
Yes, he will call, but it's certainly not very often. I mean, I would say,
Well, you guys also have a group chat, right?
Yeah. So there's always something going on in there. But he will occasionally call me. I would say it's not once a week, less than that, but he'll make the call.
Kevin talked to his mom every single day.
Oh my gosh.
As some of these men, my horde of men that I have dated, they ask all the time, well, did you talk to your daughters today? I'm like, no. Same thing like you. Was I supposed to?
Did I
Or
forget
I'm like,
something?
oh, I sent them something on Instagram. Does that count?
Yeah, that's close.
Like, well, are you going to call them, or are you going to go? When are you going to go see them? I'm like, to Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And they're like, well, there's an airplane. I'm like, I'm well aware. I am coming to your neck of the woods on Tuesday. I am driving down to Omaha on Tuesday and
Are
seeing
you really?
Ava, staying over.
Wait, is she?
She's in Omaha.
She's in Omaha. Oh, I didn't
Lives
know
over
that.
in the Exarban area, and she volunteers at the Cat Cafe if you ever want to go see her on a weekend.
Okay, I need to befriend Ava. on
Yeah.
Facebook or Instagram or whatever, because my favorite restaurant in Omaha is in Exarban. So we are there every Sunday for
Yes.
lunch.
Yes.
And
It's so funny. You probably have been there at the same time because she does live right over in that area.
I love Exarban. It's such a good area.
Yeah. So,
What is the cat cafe?
so it is, I think it's a coffee. Have you been there?
No, it's on my list,
Well, I
but
think they just moved because
oh,
with the flooding, did they
mhm.
get, was it flood or was it not hurricane, but was it rain? What was the storm
We
damage?
had a lot of rain and we had a lot of wind. And so there was a lot of places that got flooded, and there were a
Yes.
lot that lost trees, like whole trees went down,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff went down.
So the former location got flooded. So they just, I think they're just opening up the new place. Well, anyway, it's right next to it. I think it's two parts is like animal rescue. And so part of the cat cafe is this pen, I think, or area of little kittens that you can play with and hope that you can play with them and adopt them there. And
Huh.
as a volunteer, she goes in and sometimes she just sits and plays with cats for a while and is kind of the one that as people want to play with the cats, talks to them or talks to the people about the kittens. She said that there were last week she went and there was a whole new litter of kittens, and she said she was a human jungle gym. They were chewing on the strings of her hoodie, on her tennis shoes, playing with her hair. I mean, she literally had said, "I had them all over me, Mom."
Cute.
And she's got two cats, and her roommate has a cat. So I'm like, well, I'm glad you can get your fill without bringing another one home. She goes, oh, I am tempted, but I will not. Two is fine for now, she says.
See, I keep wanting to go there and I keep mentioning it, and then I keep forgetting about it. And I think Vic does not try to remind me about it because I think he knows that I'll end up bringing a cat home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does look like a fun place though. Well, we need to talk after this about if you're
Okay.
coming to Omaha.
Yep. Yep. We'll get her. We'll get her hooked up. We'll get you two connected.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What else, Mal? Do you have any other exciting things you want to talk about your life?
I did. Okay, so I did prepare one thing before coming on. I had no idea what you guys were going to ask and stuff, but I found a quote. I actually saw it this morning and I saved it immediately because I'm like, I think this is a quote I'm going to use for my life now. And I'll tell you who said it as well. So it's Ianla Vanzant.
yeah.
You've heard of her?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So the quote is, when the time comes for you to make a change or to grow, the universe will make you so uncomfortable, you'll eventually have no choice. And I loved it. I'm like, and I talk to some of my coworker friends about this all the time, like who I was 3 years ago versus who I am now. Just so much stuff has changed rather quickly over the last 3 years. And I was in a bad spot before, was not happy with multiple different aspects of my life. But I also wasn't putting in enough effort to change anything. And so then it was like, okay, well, if you're not going to do it, here you go, Malory. So let's have brain surgeries and let's, do this stuff that you can't say no to. And then I don't think I've ever been this happy in my life. So it's like,
Oh, that's wonderful.
if I tell Vic this too much too, but if I had to go through the exact same stuff that I've been through in order to get where I am now and feel just this happy, I'd do it again. I wouldn't change a thing. I'd stick with it all just to get back here.
Yeah, that's great.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, you look great. You sound great. It's always fun, sharing comments and stories and stuff with you.
Yeah.
It is such a joy, and I think we've all talked about it, to have a relationship with our kids as adults.
Yeah.
Yes, there's
Oh, yeah.
still the mom-daughter thing, that kind of dynamic, but there's also a new level where the playing field has leveled a little bit. We're coming to you guys for advice. You're now listening to the advice we give and not like just, immediately turning the opposite direction, even though you joke about it. You know, um, it's just such a joy to be able to have good relationships as we both get older.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, um, I don't know, the relationship or the way that I see my relationships, I'm so thankful to have the family members that I have now. I remember, and I'm so sorry, Mom, because I remember times of being just so mad about stuff, and now it's like, I don't know, I think as you get older, you just start to see things differently and start to appreciate, like, oh, that's okay, that's where that came from, and that makes perfect sense now, because I do the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
the stuff where when it happens at the time, you're like, what the heck, this is dumb. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yes, I love you, Mom. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
I love you
sorry
too.
for,
Yes, right. That's the piece of it. Your siblings need to apologize also, because it's not always perfect, but we expect that. I mean, don't we as parents? We expect
Yeah.
it to be just at times really hard, really difficult, really, you know,
Well,
all the feels.
there was a quote, and I'm just going to paraphrase it, but somebody that I was following was talking to the children, and they said, "Hey, cut your parents some slack. They've never done this before either."
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
And especially as the oldest, you're the oldest, Stacey and I are the oldest.
Yeah.
Our parents didn't know what the hell they were doing. Love you, Mary. Maybe you did. Linda, you obviously did, sort of thing. But I didn't know what I was doing with Madeline.
Yeah.
She's
No.
the test pancake. That's our joke is, the test pancake where you're all trying to figure it out together. So
Yeah.
to get to this age now where you can accept um, you know, us as we are
Yep.
Mhm.
helps.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and we appreciate you sharing your dating journey and these things because again, one of the reasons that we wanted to do this is that we all go through different stages in our lives and have different experiences, and a lot of times there are just questions that people have or situations that they find themselves in that they maybe didn't expect, and we want to be able to talk about those things here. And Amy graciously shares her experiences with us. um, and so it's really wonderful to hear yours, Mallory, and we're so happy that you're so happy. It's you know I've known you not as long as Amy, and of course Stacey, but it's wonderful to see you so happy and thriving.
Yeah.
So
Thank
it's everyone should know that there is someone in the world for everyone, and sometimes it just takes a little bit longer to find them.
you. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't give up because I was worried for a while there that, okay, went through some health stuff and I'm like, how do I ever explain this on a dating site? Like, oh, you want to go on a date with me? Let me tell you about the surgeries that I've recently had and why I don't have hair in certain places. And, and I'm like, who's gonna want to, say, yeah, I'll date that chick. And I'm so glad that I didn't give up and that I just tried, um, and just went for it because otherwise, oh yeah, things wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure Vic will watch this. I'm sure he will, because I know he watches about every episode. But anyway,
Yeah.
and we
Hi,
were
Vic.
happy. Yeah, hi Vic. We were happy to have him as an addition. It's definitely been um, good for our family, for sure. To have him as an addition. So, and certainly as we see how good he is for, to you and for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best. Like I don't know, just every day, it's like I start to appreciate other things in my life better. And I think he just helps that. Like if I get upset about something from work or from family or whatever the issue is, and I talk to him about it, he's like, well, yeah, but it's not this, or like, or it could have been that other thing. And he just always makes me feel better about stuff and kind of pushes me forward to do better and do more things. And yeah, it's worth the wait to find your person. They'll be there
All
eventually.
right.
There you go.
Good.
On that
All
note, I think we'll end this session.
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Soon.
Cheers.
All right.
Next time, ladies.
Cheers.
Cheers. Have a good week, everybody.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. I'm about to start a celebration. Let me in. Brought a good time plus some friends. Turn it up loud past 10. Turning up the crowd.